So think about a politician caught in a major scandal. What's the one phrase they almost always use to apologize?
Oh, it's always mistakes were made.
Right, exactly. Mistakes were made.
Yeah.
But notice what's missing there. They never actually say who made the mistakes. It's a brilliant linguistic escape hatch.
Yeah, and grammatically speaking, that is called the passive voice.
Which brings us to today. Welcome to a deep dive into Unit 5 of the Grade 10 textbook, Get Involved.
Our mission today is to basically crack the code on the passive voice.
Yeah, present and past tenses, so you can absolutely ace your upcoming English exam.
It is such a crucial skill, and since Unit 5's theme is smile, and it focuses heavily on photography, I think the easiest way to understand the passive phrase is to think of it like a camera lens.
Oh, I like that. So in a normal, active sentence, Ed Sheeran wrote the song. The camera's focused right on the doer. The creator is front and center.
Right. But when you switch to the passive voice, you physically turn the camera around. You shift the focus completely away from the creator and zoom in on the creation itself.
So how do we actually build that sentence? How do we shift that grammatical camera focus?
Well, you use the verb be plus the past participle of your main verb.
Whoa, okay, hold on. Past participle. Let's not lose anyone in the grammatical weeds before we even start. That's really just the third column on those irregular verb charts we all had to memorize, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like eat. Ate, eaten. Eaten is your past participle.
Okay, so if we're in the present tense, we use am, is, or are, like millions of selfies are taken every day.
Spot on. And if we're talking about the past, you just swap those out for was or were. So it becomes, the movie was directed by Spike Lee.
But wait a second, if we still mention Spike Lee at the end with the word by, why even go through the trouble of flipping the sentence? Doesn't the active voice usually punch harder?
I mean, it does, but sometimes the final product is just way more important to your story than the person behind the scenes.
Or, going back to our politician example, sometimes the doer is intentionally hidden. Or maybe just completely unknown.
Exactly. Take the sentence. The app was designed in 2019. We don't know who designed it, and frankly, we don't really care. The focus is entirely on the app itself.
Okay, so if the doer is totally obvious or a complete mystery, we just drop them entirely. I wouldn't say chopsticks are made from wood by people.
Right, you just drop the by. And that is a massive survival tip for your exam. If the creator doesn't add vital new information, just leave them out of the shot entirely.
That makes total sense. So we know how to set up a basic shot, but your exam is definitely going to ask you to form questions in the passive voice.
Oh, for sure. It's a guaranteed exam topic.
So if the passive voice is like turning the camera around, how do we ask questions about what we're filming?
Think of asking a question like adjusting the lighting before you even look at your subject. In English, questions almost always rely on what we call subject-verb inversion.
Right, so you just take that be verb and swap it to the very front of the sentence to immediately signal to the listener that a question is coming.
Yep, you're just borrowing a foundational rule you already know from basic English. If the statement is, the Mona Lisa is exhibited in Paris, the question just moves the is to the front.
Making it, is the Mona Lisa exhibited in Paris?
Precisely. And the short answer is just, yes, it is.
And for the past tense, you just lead with was or were. Were you invited to the premiere?
You got it. It's that simple.
Let me try an information question then. If we're keeping with our movie production theme, I'd start with a question word, right? Where was the movie filmed?
Perfect. You've got your question word, your be verb, the subject, and then your past participle. But watch out for a very specific quirk here.
Oh, yeah. What kind of quirk?
Well, if your verb usually pairs with a preposition, that preposition gets pushed all the way to the end of the question. For example, what is the statue made of?
Ah, right. So the word of just sort of hangs out at the very end. It feels a little counterintuitive, but that is a brilliant one to flag for the test.
Definitely. And while we're talking about the test, here is your ultimate make or break reminder. Do not just blindly add an ed to every verb.
Oh, right, because the whole passive structure just collapses if you write builded instead of built, or righted instead of written.
Exactly. You have to know those irregular past participles cold.
So true. Okay, to wrap up your shortcut to mastering Unit 5, you need to remember to shift your camera focus.
Watch your be verbs to ensure you're in the right tense.
Double-check those irregular past participles and know exactly when to drop the by.
Basically, control the focus, control the sentence.
Love that. Well, before we go, we want to leave you with a challenge to test your new grammar chops. Think about your absolute favorite movie or song.
How would you describe the way it was made using only the passive voice?
Right, and without ever revealing who actually created it. Good luck with that, and we'll catch you next time.